Hey, folks! We're back with another episode of Three Men and an Anime.
Hooray!
This is episode 47.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, no kidding, Gav. This is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friends and co-hosts, Eric Carlson and Gav Leaf. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hooray! I exist.
I am awake.
Gav. Might want to turn your levels down slightly.
Oh, sorry. I moved my mic to position, and there we go.
You're also picking up like your fan in the background a little bit. That's why I was about to say that.
Oh.
Then you're fine now.
Okay. I have moved it from under my nose. It's now at a reasonable position.
Good. Anyways,
Excellent.
so this week we are covering Eric's most recent selection. Yes, Eric's most recent selection.
It's mine.
Yes.
Yeah, The Vision of Escaflowne.
Old school mecha anime.
Yes, a classic. The second oldest show we've covered, I believe.
Is it?
Well, it's not older than Gunbuster, and it's
Is
slightly
it older than
Slayers. It's a contemporary. I believe they're basically the same. I believe the Slayers came out the same year. Let me double check that.
I think if I remember correctly, we were talking about this. I think it was Escaflowne, then literally as this finished, Slayer started.
That
Yeah,
sounds right.
I think they're the same year, and yeah, Escaflowne was the season previously. I remember the conversation now.
Might be the other way around, actually.
And then like the season after that, it was like Nadesco, and he just kind of
And
snowballed
then
from there.
the season of formative anime happened. Right.
Yes.
No, Slayer started was in April of '95. Escaflowne was
October
April.
'94, according to this.
That's the manga.
Oh, it's the manga. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the anime was April of '96. So Slayer's is a year older.
Okay.
So no, I'm wrong. The original Slayer's is the second oldest. Gav still owns the oldest anime recommended. Chosen.
And I'm still mad I hadn't seen that beforehand. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gunbuster still holds our crown.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, Escaflowne. I remember when this came over to the States and it was on Fox Kids, and that was terrible. I'm not even kidding. They aired it out of order. They changed all the dialogue. Like, yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. When I first saw this, Eric, and I started looking into it, I thought, okay, I get the giant robots, but there's far too many elfin-looking dudes to be an Eric show.
Oh, but did you totally miss like that the whole fate manipulation, mad science lunacy that was happening in the background when you?
Well, from the trailer, yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah, the most of the characters are goddamn pretty.
Yeah, they're all very pretty.
They're all bish before it was bish.
Yeah,
Well, before it was a trope.
really great mecha design.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so the story of Escaflowne is you've got this high school girl, because all animes start in high school.
A lot of them do.
Who's on the track team and is totally crushing on her senpai in also on the team, and she decide through various high school girl convolutions. I mean, to be fair, high school guys do the same thing. Decides that she's going to beat her record with him timing it with her grandmother's pendant, which always keeps a time of 1 second per swing when it's hanging. And if she beats her record, she will give him her first kiss. She starts running, and she's doing great, and then a column of light drops in front of her, and she runs headlong into some dude with a sword and armor.
I hate when that happens.
As you do.
Yeah. At least like twice a day.
Yeah. Happens all the time. So Hitomi, that's our high school girl here, runs smack dab into Van, the guy in the light. He's if you're looking at the title page, he's the guy in the red shirt grimacing at you
with dark hair.
with dark hair.
Slightly
Yeah,
short, spiky dark hair. Not
Yes.
super short, but you know.
Anime shot.
Yeah. Who's responsible upon getting run into by by a cute girl, and then Bob Cut is, what the fuck are you doing here? And where's the dragon?
As you do.
As you do, which is when the dragon shows up. Action chase sequence happens. Where Hitomi has a brief vision of, while Van's dueling with the dragon, has a brief vision of it catching him in the blind spot with its tail spike. At which point she warns him. He manages to dodge it and offs the dragon. He pulls out its heart, which is crystalline for some reason. He goes, "Ha
Dragons.
Yeah, dragons." He goes, "Ha! Now I've completed the ritual of ascension. Now, how do I get home?"
Where am I? What's going on? What the fuck?
Yeah, where am I? What's going on? He and Hitomi instantly start arguing because, of course, they do. And convenient column of light again brings him and Hitomi back to his world.
Yes, as Amano, her love interest, at least in high school, who's still holding her pendant, comes chasing after, like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" And the pendant gets sucked out of his hand into the column of light.
Yes.
This is important.
This is yes.
But yeah, and so she ends up on the world of Gaia, where Vaughn is from. And thus begins the shenanigans, as
thus the plot happens properly.
Yeah. You can tell it's Gaia because the big thing is that you can actually see the Earth and the Moon in the sky.
Yes.
You can't see Gaia from the other side, but the Earth and the Moon. Apparently, Gaia's hidden somehow.
Yeah, or just dimensionally shifted. I don't know.
Yeah,
magic is involved.
Yeah.
The and the Earth is referred to as the Mystic Moon, and this is not an unheard of occurrence for people from the Mystic Moon to show up on Gaia.
Yep.
Rare, but not unheard of.
Like, oh.
So Ben's like, so that was the Mystic Moon, huh? Okay, cool. Well, I got to get back home. You should probably come with me, because kind of in the middle of a field at night, and there are dragons in the area.
Oh, and werewolves. Except those guys.
And werewolves show up, and they give him an escort back to the palace, because he's now King Von, having killed a dragon.
And having taken its heart.
Taken its heart.
Which he uses to power a magical
Which he
mecha.
uses to power a giant kick-ass robot. Giant kick-ass robots are in fact a thing here. The tech level here is generally high fantasy medieval.
It's almost steampunk without the steam.
Yeah, well,
you take away the boiler, you put a dragon's heart, and there you go.
You've got the airships that are powered by the big floating stones they grapple themselves onto, or build themselves around. You've got the big mechs, which are referred to as Gymalifs, and Zybok are totally not antagonist nation. Totally antagonist nation does have steam tanks, except not powered by steam, because that would be gauche.
No, I believe you guys are right. Almost everything that Zybok uses is powered by energists.
Yeah,
which are dragons.
There's a brief aside where they actually mention that energists are that's the resource in war. The side with the most energists can power all their war machines, which means they will win the end.
Yep.
So Vaughn goes back to the palace. His useless hanger-on Meryl, the requisite cat girl, shows up. It's an 90s anime. There's going to be a cat girl.
There is.
Yeah.
Merle is... God, she's mostly useless.
Merle's largely there for comic relief and as a foil to Hitomi, because Hitomi's emotional yet reserved, and Meryl is just completely everything's on the table. She's yeah.
No, she's clearly in love with Vaughn.
Yeah. And instantly pegs Hitomi as a rival.
Yep.
Which Hitomi clearly doesn't think that is. Meryl's being a paranoid cat person. Of course she's crazy.
Meryl also serves as a foil for the other two cat girls who show up later in the series.
Yes. They don't show up till like the last quarter of the series, though.
True, but she does serve as a counterpoint to them. Because she's they are in a similar role with the person they're hanging out with.
Yep.
And there are similarities. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And there are differences. So yeah. He's crowned king. He goes through the whole ceremony of activating the Escaflowne with the energist he's got. And things look like they're going well until Zybok attacks.
Yeah. Zybok being our antagonist nation, who have giant floating fortresses because they're awesome. The bad guys always get all the best toys.
They actually do have all the best toys.
They really do.
Yeah, their guy Malifs are unique in that they can fly and turn invisible. And they strike team that attacks and is run by probably the second bishiest person on the show of Bishonen, Delandau, who is a psychopath.
Oh,
Delandau Delandau has an excuse, as we find out later, to be bishy, yet isn't the bishiest on the show.
No, isn't the bishiest on the show. Also has an excuse to be a psychopath, as we find out much later.
Well, yeah, same.
There are excuses for his behavior. Well, there are reasons for his behavior.
They're not really his fault, mostly. He's kind of been massive trauma and brainwashing will do that to you.
But as we're introduced to him, it's like he is all about the crush the little man. Aren't I a great soldier fighting with my super advanced technology and cloaking device?
He's all kill, maim, burn, kill, maim, burn.
A little bit.
Rape, kill, pillage, in whatever order you choose. Let's go nuts, guys.
Yeah. But they're massively they massively outnumber the enemy. They've got the advantage of the cloaking technology. Their weapons are more advanced.
I don't think they actually outnumber the enemy. I think it's just they strike from stealth and completely by surprise. And
due to the element of surprise, they do. Yeah. Like a lot of guys don't even get into their suits.
Yeah. Most of their military doesn't even get activated before it gets shredded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it was never really a fight to begin with, and that's exactly how Delandau likes it.
It was a lightning bolt raid that against a completely unprepared, for all intents and purposes, sleeping opponent.
Yep. Basically, time is bought for Vaughn by his, I guess, major domo and mentor Balgus.
Yeah.
Who proceeds to kick ass with just a giant fucking sword.
He's swinging around his sword built for a guy Melif just outside of one. He doesn't care. Screw you.
I actually kind of wish we'd have seen more of Ballas. I mean, he went down like an absolute badass, literally one-on-one man, fighting Guy Malefs. But
crush.
Fuck you! I don't need a giant robot. Turns out you kind of did, but well done.
Yeah. And you get the impression that if he had had a giant robot, there wasn't a damn person there that would have going to touch him.
Yeah.
No.
But Vaughn manages to escape in Escaflowne, which turns into a dragon.
That's later.
He has a flight mode.
Oh, is that later?
That is later.
Okay.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That isn't until after they meet Alan.
Oh, you're right.
It's a convenient pillar of light.
He and Hitomi get beamed out in a pillar of light because Hitomi's freaking out.
That's right. Yeah. Hitomi freaks out enough to call another beam, and Vaughn, Escaflowne, and Meryl, because you need some kind of
beamed out. She didn't get beamed out. Merle got left behind.
Oh, you're right. Merle got left behind.
It's literally just those two in Escaflowne.
Yeah, and and Hitomi doesn't end up in the same place as Vaughn does either.
Yeah, they get separated. Yeah, they get separated, and she gets accosted by a mole man.
Yeah,
fucking mole man.
Yeah, and so, but this is really basic. They've established the basic premise for the show at this point.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Zybok, bad guys, beating people up for reasons that will be explained. Vaughn is now out to avenge his nation of Finalia, get vengeance on Zybok because they just wiped out his nation for apparently no fucking reason.
As far as he can see, yeah.
I mean, it was already like he was like the overly proud kid that was prone to anger. You know, he knew he was going to be king, blah, blah, blah. It was his duty, all the rest of it.
Well, with a couple of minor other tweaks, though. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Vaughn doesn't like fighting. Like, it's not really, not in his nature.
But he's still a surly little bastard.
Oh, he is a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah. He's surly. He's proud. I wouldn't say he's arrogant, but he's definitely proud.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, he's not convinced he's the best fighter in the world, for instance.
Yeah.
He knows he's good, and he knows he's had a great teacher. He doesn't know how good a teacher he had yet. We find that out later. We're like, oh. And he turns out he is actually damn good once he actually gets his head on somewhat straight.
Yeah, once he gets his head on his shoulders. An early criticism of his fighting is that he is not aggressive enough.
Yep.
So
And then,
yeah.
then Hitomi, who is, for all intents and purposes, a Japanese high school student with the ability to freak out and cause pillars of light.
She also has fortune-telling capabilities.
Which she had back on Earth. She was she had a hobby of doing tarot readings for her friends.
Yep, she made a hobby of tarot readings, and she was slightly more accurate than average. This is cranked to 11 here on Gaia.
Yes. No, she was actually accurate for the most part.
Yeah.
Which she thought was, she was convinced it was just a coincidence.
Right.
Yeah.
But on Gaia, she's like reading people's pasts, predicting the future
Without the tarot cards.
Without the tarot cards, yeah.
Picking up on making use of extrasensory perception, like she can tell where the invisible guy Melifs are.
Oh, that's because she can sort of see the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know the vision part of this show.
Yeah,
that's her.
That's her.
She, and this is one of the things she sort of figures out as she goes along, and it kind of freaks her out a bit, and I really don't blame her. But yeah, so she's accosted by this mole-like dude who tries to steal her necklace, and does.
It looks like something more when Alan shows up, and no, he really just wanted the necklace.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked really fucking like, oh, this is going to a creepy place. Oh, no, he actually just wanted the necklace.
Yeah.
But yes, she is rescued by Alan.
Who is the bishiest person on Earth.
Oh my god, he
and
is
Gaia.
he is one of the bishiest bishes who ever bished.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
He's also
like we commented during both Slayer series that Gowry is is like one of the most Bishonen looking guys we've ever seen.
He ain't got shit on Alan.
No.
Well, Alan basically is Gowry with like the dials turned up. Well,
I
minus
wouldn't
the
say
strength.
that. He's a lot smarter.
He's
than
a lot smarter than
He's
Gowry.
a lot smarter than Gowry.
He's also not quite. He's on the surface as nice a guy, but I don't think at his heart it turns out he's not quite as nice a guy as Gowry.
Yeah, he's not. He tries to be a nice guy. The dude's got a dark side.
Yeah.
And not the cool romantic dark side. He's just kind of a dick underneath it all.
Which he doesn't like about himself, was pretty.
Yeah, he's aware that's a problem and works to fix it.
Also, there are plenty of similarities between them. Otherwise, they're both phenomenal swordsmen.
They're both tall with long blonde hair. Have sort of an unerring. People just like them.
Yep, they're both incredibly likable. They both have that sort of classical sort of Bishonen anime hero build. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, long powerful limbs.
Yep.
And of course the incredible locks of flowing blonde hair.
Yeah.
Which totally don't get in the way when you're a swordsman.
Well, if you're that damn good, who knows? Apparently not.
Hair that pretty never is in the way.
But yeah, Alan basically bails Hitomi out.
He's also basically the Lancelot of this story in more ways than one.
Yes,
pretty much every way.
not in the most Lancelot-y ways.
Really?
Okay, at no point does he fuck off on. At no point does he fuck off for decades, only to come back in the fight with Mordred to get himself dead.
He never boinks Hitomi while she's married to Vaughn.
That's true too.
That never
but
happens.
There's a similar storyline with him.
It's not the same
He
thing.
does blink a princess while they're married to someone else, though.
True. No, that was before they were married.
Yeah, they got it on a technicality.
Okay, fair enough.
He got the princess pregnant right before she got married. Oops.
So Vaughn's an actual, not Vaughn. Alan's a knight for, I forget the name of the nation.
It starts with an A. Asturia.
Asturia, thank you. I was going to say Amestris, but that's the wrong series.
It is.
And he's sort of a knight errant, shall you say. He's sort of not exactly in favor and spends a lot of his time out doing stuff in his airship, which looks kind of like the swordfish, only you replace the wings with big levy stones. The swordfish from Bebop.
Yep.
And his own custom Guy Malif, which is okay. I'm not as fond of the design as I am for the other Guy Malifs in this.
Well, for that, it just looks like a standard Guy Malif with a lot more embellishment rather than
And a cloak.
Escaflowne, which is cloak. Sorry, which is where Escaflowne is actually said this is a completely different design of Guy Malif.
Yeah.
It's a
there's
lost
also,
design.
I'm also thinking like the I prefer the Zybok mechs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A couple of the custom mercenary mechs we see, I enjoy more. It's fine. It's
Like I said, it feels like one of the rank and file soldiers that have just been elevated,
yeah.
kind of thing.
Well, it's like he's a higher ranking knight with fancier armor.
Yes.
Which is exactly what he is.
Exactly what he is.
I will also say that he does cut a pretty cool pose when he comes leaping in the night with his in sword stance in mid leap.
Yes. With the cloak flaring out behind him. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does look cool. I'm just
It's so Alan though.
It's so very Alan.
But yeah, so he rescues Hitomi. Vaughn does show up at this point.
Yep.
And basically he's there. It's like, okay, no, back off, dude. Leave Hitomi alone, because he's not sure what's going on here.
Yeah.
They get into a bit of a duel. Alan schools Vaughn thoroughly, and Alan's like, "Yeah, you got a lot of talent, kid. Don't have it all.
Not aggressive
enough on that charge. You really got to get in there."
I mean, your technique, the basic fundamentals of your technique are great. Oh, you were taught by you were taught by this.
Oh, you were taught by Baldus.
Baldus.
Oh, that explains everything.
Yeah, he was my teacher also. Yeah, I studied with him longer than you did. How is Balgus? Oh, he's dead. Oh,
yeah. Finale is ashes.
Yeah.
Like, literally, they burned it to the ground. By the way, I'm king kinda, and she's with me. So let's diplomatic mission here. He doesn't put it in such a way. Mostly it's a lot of shouting, "I must get vengeance. Will you help me?" Yada yada yada. Because he's a little emotional at them.
yeah, understandably. He doesn't know yet that Finale has been reduced to ash. He doesn't find that out until Merle catches up with them and tells them.
Yes.
When he goes a little nutty. But Alan is more than happy to help him out because you've been attacked by Zybok. That's weird.
Why would Zybok attack Finale? Why would Zybok attack anybody?
They're our allies. Why would they do this? But you seem like a trustworthy fellow. I'll give you a place to hang out and recuperate.
That sword is actually the royal seal of Finale. Like, unless you robbed the royal vault, you're the king.
And given that Balgus is there making sure that no one would rob the royal vault, I don't think you did.
Plus, you've got that big kick-ass custom Guy Malif over there, which I'm pretty sure is also royalty only. It's
Yep.
actually gene locked to royalty only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not even just royalty, like literally to Van himself.
Yeah. Like it doesn't turn on without a sort of a blood pact kind of deal.
Yeah.
So Delandu eventually shows up at Alan's little fortress.
Yep.
Alan's like, okay, Vaughn, go chill somewhere.
Go chill. Stay out of sight. Keep your mouth shut. Don't start nothing.
He starts something.
And of course he does.
Delandu shows up and said, they're looking for, the Escaflowne and Vaughn. Because,
Yeah.
because invented pretenses for why we attacked.
Yeah. Something about like yeah, I forget what Delando's escape was. It was about as transparent as cellophane, honestly.
Mm. I mean, Delando's the whole thing thereafter is they're hunting. They've been told they're hunting the dragon, and Delando's whole unit is referred to as the Dragon Hunters, Dragon Slayers. That's it. We don't really know what this means for a little while, but yeah, I mean, Fenalia's whole shtick was, the respect and protection of dragons and all that kind of shit.
Yeah. So Delando's like, Vaughn shows up at the meeting, and Alan's like, fuck, I hope they don't recognize him.
And to be fair, they don't actually. Delandu doesn't know that that's Vaughn.
Yeah.
No.
He does pick Vaughn out of the crowd because Vaughn is glaring daggers at him.
Well, no, Van actually starts mouthing off at them from the crowd.
Yeah, he does. But he's also trying to. It's very clear he's trying to set Delandu on fire with the power of his mind.
Yeah, so he's trying. Glaring daggers is an understatement. Glaring
Napalm
is probably better.
And Delandu's like, okay, then who's this chick in the outfit I've never seen before? And Alan's
like, oh, I found her out east. Yes, she's so lovely, don't you think?
He totally like, yeah, she's totally with me. She has nothing to do with any of this. And it's rude of you to be inquiring on this sort of thing. She's under my protection. She's my girlfriend, obviously.
Yeah.
She's one of my courtesans. And Delandu's like, okay, whatever.
Fine.
Right,
whatever.
This is Alan. He's got a reputation of playboy. Whatever. Fine. I'm not getting involved. You are technically an ally.
Fine. We'll fuck off for now. By fuck off, we mean sit in our invisible mechs and watch what's going on from the sidelines.
I don't believe you're not involved in something.
Because you were clearly involved, but I have no proof. And I need at least a razor thin pretext to set everything on fire.
I think what is it that Van says? They're talking about like the honor of combat and all this, having discussion between Alan and Delandu, and it's like, and Van's something along the lines of like, yeah, it's like slaughtering an entire town without even showing your mechs from some invisibility ability or some bollocks like that. Really, I'd say it's more subtle than that, but it's about as subtle as a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And Delandu's glaring, glares back at him.
Person.
Like, who the fuck are you? And Alan's just like, oh god, don't know.
Why are you here?
I'm trying to keep this from exploding. I'm trying
Stop lighting matches!
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, after Delandu fucks off, Alan's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was trying to get him out of here without him noticing you or your giant mech or anything. Well, maybe I wanted to see this guy and see what they're up to, and I think I had that right. Blah blah blah. And, okay, duel time. Yes, robot fights. Let's go.
Alan schools Vaughn again.
Yes.
Although Vaughn does a lot better than anyone expected.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because he does put him down, but then as Alan's like holding pose, he looks down and realizes that like the entire forearm of his mech has been slashed wide open.
Yeah.
And he's like, when the hell did he get me there?
the sword arm of the mech too. If it had just been a little quicker, it would have taken it off.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is all being watched by Delandau and his Dragon Slayers from the cover of their cloaks.
Yeah.
That's the Escaflowne. That's an actual justification to burn everything to the ground.
Excellent.
Let's go.
Yeah. And then
Even
it's always
Vulcan
starts
can't
freaking out.
question this. We found out Vulcan is the guy who nominally holds Delando's leash.
Yep.
Well, points him in the right direction.
Technically speaking,
holding-
he's been given a leash. He's been told, here's Delando's leash. This is incredibly long and springy.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but the thing is, it's Delando's leash is one of those joke leashes where there's nothing on the end of it. It's like,
Delando's leash is created out of sopping wet angel hair pasta. It's not particularly good at holding him still. If you yank on it too hard, it'll just break.
yeah.
To be
Delando
fair,
tends to have his own operating procedures, shall we say? And he'll come back and face the consequences with it. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
he does actually listen to Vulcan somewhat. You know,
When they're the only people in the room and he can't go anywhere.
well, yes. But he doesn't just go running off to go do his own thing all the time, at least not early on.
Like I said, Vulcan's holding his leash.
It's not a good leash, but it is a leash.
Yeah. And Delando does recognize his authority. He's just not good at dealing with authority.
No. So yeah, Hitomi starts having visions of, the place being set on fire and everybody being murdered.
And wouldn't you know?
And Vaughn's like, okay, if Hitomi's having these visions, that's not a good sign.
Okay, I've seen her react like this twice. Both times I almost died and she saved me. We should go.
Yeah.
In the
and
2 days
Alan-
I've known her, she's done this twice and both of times to save my life. We should go.
But that is basically what precipitated the duel, because Vaughn wanted to leave and Alan was having none of it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And Alan and the others are like, yeah, whatever. What do you mean psychic? Whatever.
Ooh,
We're safe
fortune
here.
teller. No, that's all bunk here in the land of magic. No one can see the future.
Yeah.
Well, for being a magical world, there's not a lot of actually overt magic.
Yeah, there's not. There's a group that are referred to as the sorcerers, but they're not what you generally consider sorcerers.
they're
Not a lot of
scientists.
movement of magic. Yeah,
Yeah, they do that. They
they're
pull.
they're alchemists and scientists, but they're not
Yeah.
like
Wizards.
wizards.
They
They're
pull
not
the
from
whole
lightning
thing
bolts,
where they're using advanced science to the point where it's just easier to tell people that they're wizards.
Well, I mean, it's very clearly not science in the way we would consider it. I mean, it's very clearly based on like alchemical concepts and other weird sort of. There's definitely magic going on. Just look at the fact that the mecha are powered by the crystallized hearts of dragons.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there is no out and out. There's no out and out like magic in this
Yeah,
series.
Not the way we normally describe it in most fantasy series.
yeah. No one's throwing lightning bolts or fireballs or flying around. Like, no one's calling up a dragon slave.
No, it's not traditional high fantasy, but there's definitely magic. It's just not. It's more in the lines of alchemy, and it's more scientifically defined magic. Like magic swords are kind of a thing, though they're mostly tied into Atlantis. Oh, by the way, Atlantis is a thing.
Yeah, Atlantis
Yeah.
is totally
A very
a thing.
important thing. Yeah. So
So Delando burns the Alan's little fort to the ground.
But Alan is smart enough to go, okay, things are going bad, we're bugging out, and I have an airship.
Yep. Hey guys, check out my airship. I keep it behind this waterfall because no one hides anything important behind waterfalls.
Nope.
So they get away. There's a bit of a chase scene with the flying guy Malefs, and they're wacky liquid metal claws and whatnot. And yeah, things are not going well for Alan's airship until Vaughn goes, you know what? They're after me. I can take care of this. How are you going to take care of this? You can't fight those guys flying. No, I can't, but I can take care of this. What are you going to do? Jump out and like fall into the river? Well, I'm going to jump out.
Well, he gets out on the deck of the airship and fights them sort of mano a mano on there, and Alan joins him.
Yes.
But eventually, Vaughn does do the whole, okay, well, I'm leaping off and transforming Escaflowne into a dragon.
Giant robot dragon.
Which, virtually everybody goes, wait, what the fuck?
That was... Oh, that's what we're called, dragon slayers. Okay, go get the dragon, guys.
So, yeah. But they eventually, Delando and his cronies do catch Alan, Vaughn, and take him to Fulkin.
Yep.
In his giant floating airship city thing. Floating citadel, really.
Yeah, Zybok has a lot of these, and they're called floating fortresses.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They are.
Apparently,
Zybok has one resource, and it is levy stones.
They have that. They have access to levistones. Yeah. We find out that Zybok in the past had basically bupkis for resources. And, they went all sort of, all imperialist to actually, get resources and to defend themselves. But they were, like, right in the middle of a whole bunch of warring kingdoms. And all the fights took place going through their territory. It's like...
Very irritating.
So
they're like the Polish. The Polish decided to go evil empire.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
It's like, okay, fuck y'all! We're sick of this bullshit! We're gonna become powerful and fuck y'all. But, so Hitomi basically figures out that she might have a way to find Vaughn, because, again, psychic stuff and her pendant thing.
Right.
No one wants to believe it. Merle sort of quasi does, because she's like, yeah, she's...
Okay, I don't like this chick, but I've seen her do shit, and, gets Vaughn back. That's the most important thing, right?
Yep. And so, Hitomi comes to plan, okay, look, I'll show you that I can actually do this sort of thing. I'll do a reading for you, Alan. And Alan's like, okay, sure, it's a good test. And having some proof of this would be handy. If you can show me that you can do this, I'm more than happy to trust you. Trust that you can do it again in future. I just need something to go on other than gut feelings and, oh God, she's actually reading my past and don't talk about my dad.
Nope, we are done.
She starts laying out his entire history on the table, and he's like, "No."
Okay, we are done. I believe you. We don't need any more cards drawn. Let's go get your boyfriend. He's not my boyfriend.
Don't care. Just put the cards away.
Let's go get King Vaughn. Yeah, we're done with the cards. You mentioned my father. We're not going there right now. That'll come up in a later episode.
Noted she is crushing hard on Alan at the moment.
Oh God, yes.
She is.
Because he kind of looks like her.
Looks like a mono, a little bit.
Back on Earth, yeah.
But anyway, he's tall, he's handsome, he's nice.
Yeah,
he's been nothing but utterly sweet to her.
And she's a high school girl.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just that. It's just that he's the sort of guy she likes, or she thinks she likes.
Yeah, she is at that age where she has a type, and that type is the prettiest. Is everyone?
You almost said it right there. The prettiest guy in the room.
But it's not just Alan's looks. Is the thing. It really isn't just Alan's looks.
Yeah, and he's a nice guy, and he.
I will say
he treats her with a modicum of respect.
The reason I'm kind of hooking on this is just because, and we'll get to it in the final bits. Hitomi's the way it's handled. I don't know if it's just poorly written or it's intended like this, but the way Hitomi's crushes are handled, just fucking. I don't know why it just pisses me off. She turns on a dime for no fucking reason half the time.
Unfortunately, remembering what being 15 was like, yeah, that happens.
Maybe.
Hormones are a thing.
Hormones are a thing.
But I mean, again, like there are
I'd
three
rather not
people
remember
she
it
has
was like 15,
she has actual romantic feelings for throughout the course of the show.
Yeah.
One is Amano, which is the guy she was crushing on in high school, and the other two are Vaughn and Alan. Both of them are. It's sort of understandable, and she doesn't flip flop between them. She has feelings for both of them through the entire show.
Though she has trouble acknowledging her feelings for Vaughn.
Yes, because
mostly because he equal parts infuriates and fascinates her.
Yes,
which we have all seen enough. We've all seen enough.
I think the thing that gets me about it is her focus tends to be. There's never a point where, like you say, it's not that she doesn't have trouble thinking about the others and anything else. It's just that her focus is always on whoever's closest at the time.
I wouldn't say that.
There's a piece later on where, and again, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but there's a piece later on where she ends up back on Earth, and all of a sudden she's back all over Amano. Doesn't even mention Alan and
it's only
Van.
sort of that, and
it's only sort of that, and she actively feels guilty for crushing on the other two. While
she feels guilty for stealing him from her friend
later.
No. She, with regards to Amano, she's like several times. She's all like, "I can't believe I'm crushing on these guys. I was all about Amano. What does that say about me?"
There's a lot more nuance to her than you're giving her credit for, is what I'm saying.
Like I pay attention.
No, honestly, like it's actually a pretty good representation of a teenager crushing on people. Like both gender completely irrelevant here.
Yes, hormones are a thing.
Going through puberty does a lot of weird shit to you. And she handles it fairly well for the most part.
Yeah.
And again, like for most of the series, she's like, she clearly likes Vaughn. She considers him a friend, and she doesn't acknowledge the romantic feelings she has for him because, God, he's infuriating sometimes.
Yeah.
Whereas,
so she's like, no, I'm crushing on Alan. I'm not crushing on Vaughn. That irritating son of a bitch.
because again, Alan is super nice to her. He's a gentleman. Again, like there are a lot of things to like about Alan. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
for the most part.
He's a little. My first clue to Alan's under the surface assholery is that he's always vaguely condescending to both Hitomi and Vaughn.
Yes, he is.
In fact, he's kind of condescending to anyone that's not actually wearing a crown.
Yeah. Well, it's part of it is that most of the cast are younger than he is.
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is that he's older than they are. That's part of it. The reason he's a bit condescending towards Vaughn, despite the fact that he is a king, is because Vaughn's a teenager.
And more than a little impetuous.
Just a little bit. At any rate, they
decide to institute a lightning raid on the
fortress.
On the floating fortress. Basically diving out of cloud cover, and nearly wrecking their ship doing so.
When you say dive, they basically just turn off the levy stones and just drop.
Yeah.
They close the sails, turn off the levy stones, and dive bomb right for the fortress. Hit the air brakes just in time to get to the docking structure, and then basically blitz with all maybe dozen crewmen.
Yeah. Turns out Alan's crew are badasses.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, and they're fairly confident that if Hitomi can, Alan's confident that Hitomi can find him in that labyrinth of a fortress.
Yep. So they leave Hitomi behind because she's not a combatant. And Hitomi's like, okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
I'm not getting stuck in. Screw that.
I know I'm not a combatant. I'm a 15-year-old girl who runs track, and is a fortune teller. That's it. I don't fight. That's stupid.
That's ridiculous.
I'd get
Vaughn,
killed.
meanwhile, has met Vulcan, and there's a relationship there.
Yeah, it turns out Vulcan's Vaughn's older brother.
Yeah, who Vaughn thought got killed during the last rite of ascension to become king.
Yep, and no, no. Everyone assumed he ran away.
Yeah, Vaughn
Vaughn assumed he was
died.
killed because Vulcan wouldn't run away. He's not like that. He's not a coward. Wait, you ran away? You're a fucking coward? Well, not exactly, but you know.
Well, not exactly. I got this cool robot hand though. Check this out.
Yeah, I had my arm ripped off by the dragon. That sucked. And what you should totally Vaughn's like, the fuck, dude. Why are you working for Zybok? Why the fuck are you working with the people who just murdered all of our people? What the hell? I'm doing it for the better
bigger picture involved, Vaughn. I need you to calm down. Stop staring at my kick-ass robot arm. I know it's kick-ass, but there's a bigger picture here. I need you to listen to me. I'm not listening to you. You're a traitor.
Dude, I'm doing it for the future of the world, to save the world. You should join me, and you're not going to listen to me, are you?
You're not listening.
Yeah, Zybok have gone all greater good. They're like, no, we're going to commit atrocities, but we know we're doing the right thing because it's for the greater good.
The greater
good.
Hot Fuzz is a damn good film.
It really is.
But yeah, so he leaves Vaughn there, and eventually, Alan actually finds Vaughn and busts him out. And so he says, okay, yeah. And
to be fair, Vulcan lets him go and Vaughn goes rampaging around the ship.
Well, he hit Vaughn with a paralyzing dart.
You're right. And
then left. Vaughn recovered from more quickly than he anticipated, and Alan found him.
Yep.
Hitomi has a vision of the future where, because Vaughn's going back to Escaflowne, of Delando catching him and killing him from behind. She's like, "Oh, that's bad."
Shit, I need to warn him. How do I warn him? I need to get over there. That's a big jump.
Well,
okay. So my record is 10. What did she say? Like 5 or 6 meters? Something ridiculous.
It's a fairly impressive for a 15-year-old track athlete.
High school track, yeah.
Yeah, it's an impressive. Her record's impressive, and it's more than that.
It's more than that, but I think I can do it if I'm properly motivated. And yeah, I'm properly motivated.
So she starts getting ready to go do this. She hands Merle her her bag and her coat. Merle's like, "The fuck are you doing? No, you can't. No,
Are you crazy? She's crazy. She's going to die. Oh my God, Vaughn's gonna be so. Oh wow, she made it.
Because you can tell Merle's sitting here. I'm a cat girl. I have ridiculous leaping abilities. I couldn't make that. She made that jump. Huh. Damn, she runs fast. I mean, I knew she did because she chased me through Alan's castle and did way better than I thought she was going to do. But the fuck? Huh. All right, she's not completely incompetent, unlike Merle.
Merle's not incompetent.
She's just
useless. You have to be useful at something to be incompetent at it.
Do you want one other piece of information, Eric, that may make you hate Merle that little bit more?
Sure, why not?
You know who her voice actress is?
Who?
Pikachu.
I don't. Here's the thing: the voice actress is good at her job, which is being a useless cat girl.
Yeah, it's Ikuo Tane. She's been the voice of Pikachu forever.
Cool.
And
I don't hate the voice actress.
She's actually a fairly big voice actress.
Oh yeah, totally.
No, she's definitely good at her job. It's just in this case, she was being a useless cat girl.
Yeah.
Oh dear. She was also Kira in Slayers.
Oh, cool.
This segue brought to you by Useless Nothing.
So she jumps over and goes running through the hangar deck, shouting for Vaughn. Runs into Vaughn sees Vaughn on the flight deck, with like steam and sword clashes and everything all around. She yells, "Vaughn, behind you!" And he turns around just in time to fight Delandau, who comes out of the steam cloud.
The interesting bit before that happens is that Vulcan throws Vaughn his sword.
Yes.
Vaughn's sword, the sword, because he's taking the sword away. He's like, "Oh, you're leaving. Fine, whatever." Here,
Yeah,
have your sword."
Falcon's
I'm
on
not
a.
going to stop you. You're my brother. I'm not going to stop you. You're making the wrong choice, but I think you'll come around in the end. It's very clearly, I know you'll come around in the end kind of deal.
Yep.
So, yeah, Vaughn gets his sword. Hitomi warns him about Delandau. He and Delandau duel briefly. Vaughn gets a decent cut across Delandau's face, which makes him freak the fuck out.
Because
'Cause
someone
he's so
actually
frustrated
cut
by
his face.
Yeah.
His beautiful, beautiful face. Which is actually what he says.
Yes.
Delandau has a bit of a vanity issue.
A little bit.
Is there a trait that you can put on that you typically see on a psychopath? Well, give it to the Landau.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they escape. And this is sort of a recurring theme throughout the show. You know, our heroes go somewhere, bad shit happens, Zybok attacks, they fight for a while, they escape.
Generally, there's some political fuckery as they try to bring allies over to their side.
Generally not succeeding because
Zybok is everyone's friend. Why would Zybok turn on us? Oh my god, Zybok's turning on us.
curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Yeah, pretty much. Literally every king they visit is like, "No, Zybok are our friends. They will never do this. Oh my god, why are they doing this?"
We don't really want to go into too much, detail
Right.
in each of these bits.
A couple other important characters that show up. They visit Alan's homeland, and chicanery happens. In which case we meet Princess
Helena?
Thank you. I was completely spacing on her name.
Which
We
is
meet Princess Milena, who's got who does a bit of the backhanded compliment thing to Hitomi for a while, because she's crushing on Vaughn, and she's got a thing for Vaughn. Not
No,
Vaughn.
Alan.
Alan.
No, Milena has a real thing for Alan. I mean, it's not just a crush. She's legitimately in love with Alan.
Yeah.
Well, he's like the best knight in her kingdom kind of thing. This is the Lancelot, the second Lancelot story that Alan finds himself in. She's the princess of the kingdom. He's the knight. They love each other but can't be together. Sort of bullshit.
Well, it's the reason they can't be together is she's already betrothed to someone else.
Yeah.
Didn't stop him the first time.
They weren't betrothed when they were in a relationship at that point. Alan actually never does that. He's not that much of a dick. He's got he's something of a playboy. He's got women flock to him. He's more than happy to dabble, but he's a serial monogamist.
And he's batting 2 out of 3 for the royal sisters.
This is true. This is her older sister who got married to another king, and
Yeah.
they broke it off when she became engaged. When the engagement became official.
I
That was
broke
what was
it
stated.
off.
That was what was stated.
Yeah.
That was what was stated. Yeah, and they're
It turns out that he'd gotten her pregnant before that. Not long before that.
I am convinced that they're still doing it on the sly after the engagement. One last time for old time's sake.
Maybe that's not what was stated in the show, but sure.
But then she'd have been
That was
living in a
what was
completely
stated in
different
the
kingdom.
show by the guilty parties. But she clearly did not walk up the that princess clearly did not walk up the aisle with a baby bump, or everyone would have made a stink about it.
Oh no, I again, like if he'd gotten her pregnant literally the day before the announcement of the engagement was made, they got married very shortly after the announcement. Like there was no time between with that betrothal. At least not from what I can see on screen. I might be wrong.
Royal political wedding, you say?
Yeah. But yeah, she was definitely pregnant. I mean, not visibly. Like I don't think she knew she was pregnant at the time.
Mm.
But it was the incident happened long enough before the wedding that she knew it couldn't have been her. It couldn't have been the guy she married.
Put it this way:
the kid kind of looks like Alan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, put it this way: the place that she was married off to is full of like dark-skinned Arabian-ish kind of looking guys.
It's very heavily influenced by India, actually.
Mongolian, or
very Indian, very sort of a weird India-Persia mix going on there.
Yeah, and the kids,
no small amount of Tibet.
Yeah, and the kids, pale-skinned, blonde hair, blue eyes,
just like his mommy.
Yeah,
and his
just
dad.
like his mom,
and just like his mom.
Credit to the king though.
Yeah, credit the king. He's he clearly put two and two together as soon as that little squirt was born. He's like, "Yep, we're gonna maintain this fiction, and he's my son. I'll kill anyone who says otherwise."
It's not even just that he maintained fiction. It's like, yeah, no, he's my son. I don't biologically.
No, he raises him as his son. No, absolutely, and he clearly loves and cares for him.
Yep,
he does. And it's also the case of, obviously, even as a political thing, it's his heir. It's a case of. He cannot be that, he can't get that humiliation. I'm pretty sure there's a fair number of people in his own kingdom that have those whispers. Yeah. But we get this confrontation between Milena and Alan, where Milena's put it together based on her sister's diary that she's found. And Alan's like, no, we'll talk about this later. There might be a chance. And the king, to his credit, just walks into the hangar and says, the prince is my son. End of discussion.
Yeah.
And Alan's like, okay. He knows.
And he's not like, and he's not like, coming down like, he's not like it. Again, the king, that dude is awesome, honestly.
Yeah. He's come to peace with this for a long time ago.
Yep.
All that matters is that Sheed is the kid's name?
Chid, yeah.
Yeah, Chid.
Chid, yeah. Prince Chid is his son, and that's the end.
It's the end of the discussion.
Yeah. I mean, there's some political issues that I can't acknowledge the possibility publicly because of political issues, but the political issues are just that. Political issues. Who the fuck cares?
He is my son. It doesn't, like, I have raised him. He is my son. Done. Okay, then. So this is about the time we find out what Zybak's kind of up to. Emperor Dornkirk is building some giant magical engine thing to manipulate destiny, basically. He's trying to tap into the power of Atlantis. Atlantis is, Atlantis, and something awful happened and it blew it up.
Yeah.
But Atlantis figured out how to manipulate fate,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to do that because I'm going to bring about an ideal solution where everyone gets exactly what they want. And that means I need to screw around and force fate to bend to my will, which is everyone's will, because of course everyone shares my vision. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dornkirk's entire plan is one of those grand visionaries that sounds good on paper, except the very basic premise is bad. Like the foundations of your plan. It's a grand plan, it looks awesome, but you're building it on a swamp.
Yeah. And only one castle has fallen over and sunk into the swamp so far. We need at least a couple more before that'll stay up. Yeah.
Turns out that Milner's sister's husband's kingdom happens to have the key to Atlantis. So guess who's showing up?
Yeah, the key to Atlantis' power is being held by the Duchy of Fried. Not actually a king, he's a duke, but whatever.
That's right, yeah. It's a duchy. He's the Archduke.
I think he's just a duke, but yeah.
I thought they referred to him as an Archduke.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Whatever, it just means the difference is whether or not he gets assassinated in Serbia.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't, so... Hey, also, Eric, he's very clearly not a Habsburg, so...
That's also true. History jokes for the win.
Oh, God. Yeah, so, yeah. So, in order to save the kingdom, basically, the Duke basically, sacrificed himself so that, to buy time, and basically has his followers instruct his son to turn over the sword that's the key to the whole thing.
Yep.
He's like, you know what? It's pretty fucking clear that things are going badly enough that we can't stop them from getting it. So screw it.
This is actually one of the few times where you see Zybok not just lightning raid. They come in like a fucking hammer.
Yeah.
There are multiple fortresses. There are waves of Gaimelos and infantry. It is not. It is an actual pitched battle, except it's not an all-even fight.
No. Well, Freed is big enough and good enough that they can't just lightning raid it.
Yeah.
But you lightning raid their borders and their central just reinforce.
Yeah. So like, yep, okay, they're big enough that we can't do the whole sort of fine. Here's one of our armies. We have more. Oh, fuck.
But yeah, the Duke basically figures it's like, look, they're gonna keep coming for this key. We can either surrender and give them it, and at least some people survive, or we can fight to the last man and they still get the key anyway.
Also, he gets convinced that the whole, they've been sworn to protect the key to Atlantis, so that it would the sword so the power of Atlantis will never be used again, because it's a bad thing, because it was. We find out.
Yeah.
But he's like, you know what? From what I've seen from here and listening to people talking here, I think it has to be freed in order for things to be fixed. Because otherwise, things are just going to keep spiraling out of control and everything's going to go to shit. All right, I'm going to do the thing. But yeah. It's sort of complicated. It's not just saving the kingdom, but that's no small part of it.
Yeah. So Zybok has the power place now. Power spot, that's what they're referred to it as.
But all this time, Dornkirk's been looking to his sort of destiny engine thing. He's like, okay, the dragon's an important key. Things keep going wrong. There's something interfering with things. It's this girl that's hanging out with the dragon. Oh, apparently she can actually sort of see the future and detect invisible things. Oh,
that's how she's messing with fate. She's messing with fate by seeing the future and then preventing my future from happening. I see how it works.
And apparently she and the dragon work really well together. I have to separate them somehow. And Falcon comes up with a plan. There's a lot of stuff that goes on before this, but it's,
It's mostly just backstory and building of
we should actually. There's one thing we should touch on actually before I forget, which is what the deal with Atlantis is and Vaughn's tie to it. So, turns out Vaughn isn't entirely human. Well, he is, but there's a subgroup of humans called Draconians who were the denizens of Atlantis, who could sprout big feathery white wings.
And they could fly around.
Yeah. Vaughn's mom was a Draconian. And the Draconians, most people in Gaia don't trust them because they blew up Atlantis and almost destroyed everything. There's
actually a lot of like mythology and folklore and superstition regarding Draconians.
Yep.
Partially because they are rare, but partially because of their place in history, partially because they are rare and don't make themselves known when they do show up, and also because, god damn it, they have wings. There's got to be something spooky with them.
Yep. So it turns out Vaughn is half Draconian, and we find out the deal how the Draconians blew up Atlantis, and oh boy,
they could turn thought into energy and matter. That worked out poorly.
Yeah. They can harness the power of human thought and desires into, as Eric said, energy and matter. They could basically manifest their wishes at will. Yeah, that went well.
Yeah, everyone gets exactly what they want. That went exactly as well as you think.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you see...
Well, no one gets their head bitten off by a giant clown worm, so...
True.
And there's no bunny cat.
A plus.
But yeah, it turns out that like Atlantis was, for all intents and purposes, the Atlantis that the of human legend that we know. They're an advanced society, and they basically got to the point where they could harness thought and human emotion and all this kind of stuff. Advanced to the point where they could even choose their own form, hence the wings, and basically created Gaia. They literally wished a planet into existence, hence why it's hidden from Earth and everything else, somewhere they could go and live away from all the primitives.
Well, no, it was created as when everything went wrong and things were exploding. They created Gaia as a place to escape to.
Oh, right, yeah.
They're like, oh fuck, this could blow up the world. We should make a new one and go there. Didn't blow up the world, it turned out, but hey.
It was close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what it's left us with.
Yeah.
So, hey, dude, I'm on the internet. The internet is awesome.
So, yeah. So that's where we find out Vaughn and therefore Vulcan's deal. Vulcan also is half Draconian.
Half Draconian, yep.
Also, we find out that the other thing we find out before Vulcan's plan is that Vaughn's Escaflowne itself is a special. It's a special.
It's a special Gymeleth. It's they refer to it as an Hispano Gymeleth.
They've been calling it this Hispano Gymeleth, and you think, oh, is this like another country that like just like designs really ornate Gymeleths? It's like not quite. They're basically extra-dimensional beings.
Yeah, they look like steampunk Jawas, and I love them.
The implication is it was another country until it basically exploded, and the remnants have gone off and hidden in another dimension.
Yeah,
well, they are steampunk Jawas, and I love them.
I almost, for a moment, I thought it was going to be the species that the mole dude belonged to when I first saw them, but it turns out it's not. But yeah, they're the ones that they know about all the blood magics and the linking of a person to a Gymeleth, advanced techniques that no one else can reproduce, and they do this basically because Van's kind of gone to the next level with Escaflowne. He's actually like tapped into some sort of like increased the blood link to the point where the control. What he's been doing, he's been experimenting with what he's been seeing Hitomi doing.
Oh, she tried to teach him to be able to detect the invisible enemies.
Yeah,
so that she didn't have to be like right there with him
to raise his perception. And what it's kind of done is basically linked him to Escaflowne that little bit more, so that it responds better and works faster. To the point where he goes into battle against the Landau's team and murders them all.
Yeah, it's
not even a fight; it's a murdering. The Landau is left screaming.
That's actually after the reveal about the problem with the Hispano armor, because the first time he actually gets in a fight and is kicking ass, but he keeps taking damage.
Oh right, yes, sorry, yes.
And it turns out that while he's linked to it and it can respond to his motion, like mind, the way he wants it to move, as if it was his own body. Yeah, it is his own body effectively. So any damage he takes, he takes.
He takes sympathetic damage, and no medicines can heal him. They have to repair the.
They have to repair Escaflowne instead, and none of them have the tech to do it, which is why they call him the Hispano.
Yeah, sorry, that's yeah.
That's when we meet Dryden.
Yes, Milerna's betrothed.
Yeah,
who's a merchant prince.
Who's a merchant prince. Like, he's not actually royalty, but he's got enough money to buy the entire country anyway. So
several times over, most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Espada mentioned an astronomical price to repair Escaflowne, and Dryden's like, yeah, no problem.
And everyone's like, shit, we don't have that kind of money. What if we sold the crew? What if we sold the crew of the ship? Is that enough? Dryden's just like, no, I got it. No, it's cool. It turns to his major domo. So how much can we cover that? Yeah, if we sell the rest of our shipping convoy, but just this one, right? Yeah, do it.
Yeah, they just value up the entire convoy they're with and say, yeah, here you go.
His poor accountant, man.
How am I going to explain this to the boss?
How am I explaining this to your father?
Yeah, I'm sure you'll think of something. By the way, you need to go home now.
I mean, there's no reason for you to be here anymore. I don't have a convoy anymore. Okay, sir, sure. Dryden is amazing.
Yes. Yeah, when we first meet Dryden, he's flirting with a mermaid who can't actually vocalize towards him because she's underwater, on his giant fish tank on his ship, and he says, "Okay, well, we're about to the ocean now, so you really should get going." No, don't be like that. Like, I bought you so I could set you free and put you back where you need to be. It's not cool to own people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do the whole thing. He's a bit of a playboy rogue, but he's a good, he's got the good heart at the center of it all.
Like, that's our introduction to him. He's setting free a mermaid because she'd been captured and enslaved and sold as a well, let's not think about what she was sold as.
Yeah. And he's like, "That's wrong. I'm gonna do something about that."
I'm
gonna do something about it with the
could
power
hire
of money.
mercenaries, but that's such a mess. I could hire mercenaries, but it's so expensive and such a mess. Might as well just spend the same amount of money I would on mercenaries anyway and buy her.
And then set her free. Mwahaha. Screw the rules. I have money.
So yeah, he's basically like helping him out because Milner is there, and she is both his betrothed, and he actually cares for her.
Yep. And he comes to respect, Vaughn and Alan and Hitomi. Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's obviously clear that he's well aware that Milena actually he has eyes for Alan, not him.
Yeah.
But he's not a dick about it in any way, shape, or form. It's just like he plays it off like, oh, no worries, you're still betrothed to me, blah blah blah. But it's up to you, kind of thing. I'm happy to wait. There's no time limit on the.
Yeah, there's no rush here. That things are happening. Well, I'll help you out when I can because I care.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, you'll love me eventually, kind of thing.
And if not, oh well. I mean, he's convinced that she will because he's that awesome.
Yeah,
but he's also comfortable with the fact that it might not happen. Yeah. So after that, so Hitomi, this is when Vaughn basically, after they get the Escalade fixed and Vaughn is healed, that's when he goes after Delando and his guard and raffle stomps them.
Yeah. There's it's a slaughter. They try to fight.
He just murders them, and it's not a fight.
No.
To the point that Delando basically craps his pants,
Yeah, he's frozen in fear. He just can't do anything. He's like, what the fuck are you?
One thing it should be noted is we find out earlier that Delando, while abusive to his crew, cares a lot about them.
Yeah,
At one point, one of them is killed by a Zybok intelligence operative. So he brutally murders that intelligence operative.
Yes.
Because he killed one of his men.
Yep.
And that's just not cool.
That doesn't happen. They're my men. Fuck you. No, and I mean that's part of his problem with Vaughn. Honestly, is that Vaughn actually put up a fight and hurt some of his people when they attacked Finalia.
Mm.
That can't be forgiven. And so he's, Delando sees this group of people the small group of people he actually cares about murdered in front of his eyes, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah.
And Vaughn would have gotten him too if things went all woodgy.
Yeah, some of the is it the blood of the opponents get on him?
It's not. It was never clear to me exactly what happened.
The Vaughn starts having images of people he's killed over the course, and them both accusing him and protecting Delando, and Vaughn sort of passes out.
I mean, the Hispano did warn him that the draconian blood in him was basically made what would happen with Escaflowne unpredictable.
Yeah, they say we can't guarantee it. Used draconian blood, not human. We made it for human blood. I mean, seems to be working, but no guarantees.
Yeah, you have no warranty. There is no 5-day return.
So yeah, it should be noted that during this fight, the Escaflowne goes from sort of bone white to coal black.
Yep.
And then he starts having visions and passes out.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully, Delando's gone catatonic by this point, so he can't put him down.
He runs away, if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, that's it. He as Escaflowne falls over catatonic itself. Delando doesn't do the usual villain route of haha, now's my chance, I'm going to finish you off. And Delando's like, aha, now's my chance, fuck it, I'm out of here.
I am gone.
What the ever-living fuck was that? That was not possible.
That's not how this is supposed to work at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is just completely broken by the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, when he gets back to base, the sorcerers, we get a scene with the sorcerers discussing Delando, saying, "Well, what was the term? We did a fate alteration on him once before. That seemed to work for a while. Maybe we need to do another one."
Yep.
Okay, take him back to Zybak Central.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he disappears for a while.
Yep. So at this point, they've figured out that they need to beat Zybok to the punch on various things. So they need to figure out where to go next. And it turns out that Ellen's dad had a connection to the whole Atlantis thing, the Mystic Valley and shit. And so after some consultations, he is convinced to give his dad's journal to Dryden to read over. This is after a few things happen. There's a few things do happen. Like Hitomi actually accidentally admits her crush on Alan to Alan.
Yep.
Vulcan's two cat girl bodyguards /
wards.
Elite
We'll call them
wards / elite guard. He sends them off to go capture Vaughn. And they kick his ass thoroughly.
Yeah.
And are only stopped by Merle. Sort of leaping in front of them and basically saying, "Don't hurt Vaughn." And they're like,
she's one of us.
And this situation looks really familiar to us. Did I mention that she serves as a foil to some other cat girls in the show at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's them.
Yeah.
They have a somewhat similar relationship with Vulcan that Merle has with Vaughn.
Yeah.
And that they're in love with him.
Yep.
He does not return those, and like Vaughn does not return those affections, though he cares about them.
He cares about them deeply. They're his. They're basically family, but they're not. They're more like his kids, really, to him.
Yeah, they're not for the. Yeah, Merle's more like Vaughn's sister, while the cat girls are more like Vulcan's kids.
Narya and Arya.
Yes.
Yeah. Give them a chance and they would be more, but he's like, no.
And yeah, that feels weird to me. No. But I appreciate the sentiment.
It's like, I care about you two, but not that way. Although I'll take advantage of that briefly because I'm a little squirrely. In one scene. In one moment.
Yeah, when they do the sympathetic magic.
Yes, which we'll get
Ouija.
to. Yeah, so this is actually an important bit, though, is after that fight is when they actually go off to the Mystic Valley. And shit gets a little weird.
Yeah, there's
this is the exposition dump. Things start to accelerate from this point onwards.
Yeah, so we see as Dryden reads through the diary, he's reading out loud. We hear the story of Alan's dad going to find the Mystic Valley, and he's accompanied by this old man named Isaac, who looks a lot like Emperor Dornkirk. It's totally Emperor Dornkirk.
It's Emperor Dornkirk.
And who eventually disappears after he finds the Mystic Valley. Alan's dad sees this woman from the Mystic Moon who had this necklace that looks a lot like Hitomi's. By the way, it's Hitomi's grandma.
Yep.
So there are connections here and there between everything. But they get to the Mystic Valley.
Going on here. I'd call coincidence bullshit, but given the whole like fate manipulation thing, it's been a central part. I'm willing to let it slide.
Oh, absolutely.
When they first revealed it, I was kind of expecting them to come out with something along the lines of, Hitomi and Alan aren't going to work because they're basically related at this point, but
but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, they didn't go that angle. They didn't do that.
So they get sucked off the Mystic Valley. Alan and Vaughn get sucked off into sort of weird quasi-dimensional areas where they're sort of confronted with their pasts to a degree. And Hitomi basically sort of gets in sort of psychic contact with him. Alan is basically forced to make amends with his dad. And find out, because, he's basically talking to his dad's ghost. And finds out, like, he's always resented his dad for going off on this quest to find Atlantis and to find the Mystic Valley and all this stuff and disappearing and leaving his mother behind, and she died without him ever coming home, etc., blah, blah, blah. And his younger sister disappearing and everything. And it's all his dad's fault, and he clearly didn't care about the family. And his dad's like, dude, no, that's not what happened. I mean, I fucked up, but not in the way you think I did.
Not the way you think I did.
Also, basically, Vaughn is basically is again at the point where he doesn't want to fight anymore because, the experience with the ghosts of the people he's killed has completely freaked him the fuck out.
Yeah,
and he's not a violent person by nature. So he's concerned basically by what's his bucket? Balgus's ghost.
Yes.
And stuff's happening there. Hitomi actually eventually finds this sort of Atlantean thing that she's able to sort of get in contact with him, and is starting to get ready to start using her powers to basically, save them, when she's confronted by Vaughn's mom, or her ghost at least, who basically tells her, yeah, your whole doing this whole manipulating, your whole fortune-telling thing, yeah, that's not exactly how that works here. You're kind of creating the futures you're finding with your fortune-telling, And your negative emotions are actually causing the bad futures that keep happening to happen. A lot of this bad shit's actually kind of your fault.
You don't mean it for it to happen, but maybe you should stop with the whole fortune-telling thing until you get a better grip of your own emotions there.
And, her grandma's ghost shows up to her and basically tells her, yeah, so specifically, what she is told by Vaughn's mom's ghost is, stop doing it, it's bad, you're going to fuck everything up. Her grandma tells her, kinda, but it's a yes, it's your negative emotions that are causing this. So, believe in the people you're trying to help, and believe in, the good things in them, and that will actually carry things through. It's like, let's stop trying to foretell the future, trying to figure out what's going to happen, and just believe in the people around you, and that will actually work. Is the long and short of it, basically. So Stop trying to actually predict the future. Don't try to change the future by using magic Ouija powers. Try to change the future by actions. God damn it.
Yeah.
And so, she does that and saves both Alan and Vaughn. And Vaughn's mom gives him another Energist thing, and then they get teleported to Zybok in front of Dornkirk. Along with, it's weird.
Yeah. Does that happen?
That happens right after this.
I think it's skipping some bits there.
No, that happens literally right at the end of the Atlantis thing. The Mystic Valley. That's how they leave the Mystic Valley. I'm not bringing up the... I skipped over a little bit, but not much. Oh, yeah, right.
There's the whole wedding and the alliance and all that other stuff.
That hasn't happened yet. I don't think.
No, that's literally.
That's later.
This is how Hitomi feels. Hitomi is. She's told something in no uncertain terms. Stop trying to force the future.
Oh, right.
Then she tries to force the future.
And then they get out of Dornkirk's.
Right. So basically, Dornkirk has them imprisoned, and his sorcerers are trying to disassemble Escaflowne to figure out his deal. And that has the unsurprising bad effects on Vaughn is they're trying to rip the Energist thing out of his chest, and it's basically trying to rip his heart out of his chest.
Yeah.
Hitomi figures out, hey, if the sympathetic link between you and Escaflowne works that way, shouldn't it work the other way?
Oh.
So, Vaughn actually manipulates Escaflowne remotely and basically has it break its way out, which is kind of awesome. And they escape. Stuff happens. So this is where we get to the bit where the Hitomi does a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because during all of this, Malerna has basically decided to go through with the actual wedding. She decided that, but she's not certain it's the right decision. And she knows Hitomi does fortune telling, so she asked her to do a reading. Hitomi's like, I kind of was told not to do this.
But you know what? You've been my friend. I want you to be happy. Sure.
So she does the reading, and as she's doing the reading, she realizes it's pointing out that the marriage is a bad idea, and that Malerna really should be with Alan.
Yeah.
And she
in doing so, she fumbles the deck and drops a couple cards, and instead of the tower, and she's got the tower, and immediately underneath it is the Emperor. Tower is all the bad shit. The Emperor is good news.
And she's like, well, maybe I can make things work out for the bit,
Yeah, I'm making it happen. I bet I can, if I'm accidentally manipulating it, what if I tried doing it on purpose? What if I could make her happy with Dryden? I bet I can make her happy with Dryden, because my motives are entirely pure.
Mostly. This is all during what's going on during all of this. Also, this is where Dornkirk has decided that that they have to split up Hitomi and the dragon, because dear fuck, that's gone really badly for us. And Vulcan says, "I have an idea. I'll use the power of love." And Dornkirk's like, "The fuck?
The fuck is get that like new wave bullshit out of here. No. I've got a plan, and it involves your super science machines. Well, it involves super science machines. It must be okay."
Yeah. So basically, because he's got enough intel at this point to realize that Hitomi is sort of caught in sort of a quasi triangle between Vaughn and
Alan.
And so there's this scene with Vaughn is like doing maintenance on Escaflowne, and Hitomi comes in. They're sort of hanging out, and Vaughn basically starts actually confessing what he feels for her, because it's very clear at this point Vaughn is actually completely in love with Hitomi.
Yeah.
It's not a crush.
It's clear to the audience, not necessarily to everyone else.
It's pretty clear it's clear to the audience.
Meryl figures
it's clear to
Meryl. Episode 1, but Meryl's got the greatest emotional intelligence of anyone in the show.
Yeah,
that's the one place where she's useful.
it's clear that it's to Merle at this point that it's not just like he likes her or he's got a crush on her. No, this is actually legitimately he's in love with this woman, this girl.
Yeah.
Fuck. And so he starts doing the whole sort of, starts like saying, I want you to be with me, going forward and such. And Hitomi's like going, oh, I didn't know you felt that way. Yeah, because,
I could totally use your power to fight Zybok and protect people. I need your power. And you can see behind his eyes him screaming at himself to stop and shut up.
What are you doing? Because earlier on,
shut up! No, don't double down. Why?
Because earlier on, he basically said something similar to her, like could you use your powers to help us fight in this situation? She's like, no. Stop. I'm not here just to be as a tool for you. And he's like, fuck. I'm sorry. That was wrong with me back then. Yeah. And he does it again. And I will say this: for all of Tomi's other potential faults, the one thing I really admire about her is the second someone starts treating her like a possession, she's out.
Yeah.
She's like, no, fuck you, I'm a person. It's like, no. What the fuck's wrong with you? And you could tell that Vaughn is like, oh, fuck. He gets slapped and he's like, you could tell on his expression, yeah, I deserve that.
Yeah, that was... Yep.
Yep.
That was entirely to be expected.
I am not a smart man.
Why couldn't I just said I want you to stay with me because I like you? Fuck. I'm an idiot. God fucking damn it. Why am I such a fucking idiot?
I am not good at things.
So she goes running off and gets caught in the rain. Alan stumbles across her. This is when Fulkin starts doing his whole sympathetic magic bullshit.
Right. What's amusing is, like, during the whole, like, Vaughn and Hitomi having the conversation, they're sitting there monitoring their fate devices, like, oh crap, oh god, it's happening, how do we stop, oh thank god he fucked that up.
Yeah. Because it's clear that they were getting to the point where the idea that Vulcan had would not work.
Yeah, the dragon and her and the dragon became one. It's like, no, this is bad, this is bad, oh god, it's okay, he's stupid.
And I think Vulcan is not in that scene because I'm convinced Vulcan was utterly convinced Vaughn would fuck it up.
Yeah.
At least once, if he had time. It's like,
yeah,
Vaughn will.
No, I think he does. I think he does make a comment, something along the lines of Van. Van is just not ready yet, or something like that.
Yeah. He's not ready to admit this sort of shit yet. We have time, don't worry. So basically, he has one of the two cat girls. I can't remember which one it is.
They are largely interchangeable, sad to say.
Largely, yeah.
Yeah, one is gold, one is silver. That's pretty much it.
He basically has. The two of them do sort of a sympathetic magic thing where they are stand-ins for Alan and Hitomi respectively.
Yep.
It's like, okay, you got to pretend you're in love with me and that I'm Alan. And she then, it's like,
The poor cat girl's like, yeah, pretend.
right.
I can totally pretend.
And so, they do the whole thing, and, Alan's feelings are forcibly shifted from Malerna to Hitomi. And Hitomi already liked Alan.
Yeah.
So,
And of course, Vaughn, like, goes looking for Hitomi to apologize and comes across them just as they're kissing. Is like, yep.
I'm an idiot.
Dad dug that grave and lied right down in it. Excuse me, I'm going to go find a shovel to bury myself with. To Vaughn's credit, he doesn't flip out. He doesn't get angry. He's just like, yep, I should have seen this coming.
I missed my chance.
I blew it.
And the other thing is, as disappointed as he is, he seems genuinely okay with the fact that if they're happy together, fine.
Yeah.
They're both my friends, fine. So yeah. So at this point, we get another little scene with the two cat girls sort of sparring, and the one who wasn't
beautifully animated.
Oh god, it's great. And the one who wasn't in the sort of the sympathetic magic thing was like sort of talking about how jealous she was of her sister, and her sister's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm jealous of you because yeah, I kissed him, and now I know the truth. I can never hold on to that fantasy we shared.
Yeah, he does.
That bad, huh? He does
the
not love us.
Yeah, the other one was basically saying you got to experience Falcon's love, and she's like, no, I kissed him, but I didn't feel any love.
Not that kind of love, at least.
Yeah.
Oh well. But yeah, they end up volunteering for a fate enhancement treatment to make them super lucky so they can be more badass.
Yeah.
Vulcan is sort of of two minds about it. You can clearly tell.
Yeah, he's like, this is stupendously risky. I do not want to risk my kids on this. But they know the risks. 2, it's a really good idea.
And 3, they're volunteering.
Yeah. I did not bring up this subject.
So so the big wedding happens. Hitomi actually realizes that, oh fuck, this is a terrible. I've completely fucked up. She realizes that this is all going wrong. I've screwed this up. I should not have done what I did.
I need to stop the wedding now because everything's going to go to shit.
Yeah, she doesn't, and things go to shit.
As they do.
The one other thing that happens before this is the bit we were talking about, Alan's sort of darker side. He's a little possessive.
More than a little.
Yeah. Because Hitomi is pretty is very independent.
Yeah.
And he starts making comments about maybe I should build a bird cage for you. And it's like, Alan, the fuck?
Yeah, Alan? Fuck you. I'm going over there now. Do not follow.
Again, she does not put up with this bullshit. And it's sort of, we find out later that a large part of this is like this sort of underlying thing is Alan's got serious abandonment issues.
Yeah.
His dad fucked off and disappeared and left his mom left mom and the rest of the family alone. Mom died without her husband around. His sister was kidnapped and is gone. Everybody cares about disappears.
The only woman he ever loved married someone else and died.
Yeah. So while it's not an excuse, it's an explanation.
Yeah.
And again, he realizes it's not one of his better aspects. It's what it's
And again, to Alan's credit, he realizes, yeah, I was a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, when she bugs out, he's like, oh. Yeah, right. Yeah. But yeah, so Hitomi runs up to try to stop the wedding and trips and falls on her face. And the wedding is finished. And then the cat girls show up. And nobody can do anything to them because everything that anyone tries fails in catastrophically unlucky ways.
Yes.
Like Alan can't even deploy in his mech 'cause it's damaged in some way. I can't remember how
It like throws like every piston in the left arm and it can't move.
Just a complete fluke thing goes wrong. It's like, the fuck? Like the a ballista starts to fire and like a screw comes loose and the winch arm breaks and it's like, what the hell? Escaflowne loses power randomly mid-flight.
Yeah.
And they're announcing that they're here for Hitomi, and Hitomi's like, okay, sure, I'll turn. This is all my fault. I'm turning myself over to them. If it'll save everybody else, I'll do it. Much to Malerna, she explains what she did to Malerna before this happens, and Malerna's like, oh, okay. Well, we got to protect you anyways. You're my friend. And what are you doing? No, Hitomi, don't do that. Huh. It's a weird scene. That's one of the scenes that I was sort of a little bit Malerna doesn't seem particularly upset about what Hitomi did. It's a little weird.
I think it's because she totally
understands.
One, she understands. Two, Hitomi lays it all out. Like,
yeah,
I wanted you to be happy, and that I wanted you to have a good life, but I also totally did it because I wanted Alan to myself, and I just want you to have him, and it's all my fault because I'm a horrible bitch. And Merlinder's like, I totally see where you're coming from here, but what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it told me, like, totally fesses up, like, including her ulterior.
Yep.
Like,
again, I you gotta respect her.
Yeah.
But yeah, the things go a little wonky. I forget why they don't take her away. I forget. Shit.
Because fate starts catching up on them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So basically, like, for all that good look they have front loaded, they get an equal amount of bad look back.
Yeah, I mean,
so they start throwing pistons. Their mechs lose power. Just about everything that could goes wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't get away. One of the mechs just outright crashes. The one carrying Hitomi, actually. The other one limps back.
They actually bug out, but without taking Hitomi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
So yeah, the one who crashes actually.
Naria, I think.
Naria goes back to eventually goes back and kidnaps Hitomi.
Yes.
But yeah, Naria is like really not doing well because of the whole luck transference thing.
Yeah, it turns out having all your blood replaced with an alchemical solution is not good for your long-term health.
No.
Which is how they do the luck enhancement, by the way. It's an alchemical solution that replaces all their blood.
But Hitomi doesn't actually run away from her. She basically keeps helping Naria out because.
Yeah, and at one point Naria actually collapses, and Hitomi's like a perfect chance for her to escape. But she doesn't. She helps her up and remains a prisoner because.
Well, yeah, it's entirely because Hitomi realizes that Naria's not a bad person.
Well, she gets a vision of their past and the flashback that we've seen 5 times at Bird's Point of how Falcon saved them and their life, their life with him.
And so she's become very sympathetic to them, honestly, and it's like she's trying to basically get her to switch sides, honestly. She's like,
yeah, she's all like, yeah, I mean, I totally get it, but Zybox, look at their methods.
Yeah, I get that
But
you
it's-
I get that you love Falcon, and Falcon might not be that bad a guy, but the person Falcon works for is fucking awful.
then it becomes perfectly clear that the sisters have absolutely no loyalty to Zybak. They have loyalty to Falcon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as
Which
long
is
as,
de facto loyalty to Zabak, as far as Dornkirk is concerned.
yes, because Falcon would never turn traitor on him. Vulcan turns traitor on him.
Yeah, basically the girls get back, the cat girls get back, and promptly kick the bucket.
Yeah, everything catches up on them, and they basically rapid age.
They
to
age
death.
decades in minutes and die in Falcon's arms. And Dornkirk, who happened to be on the big giant pseudo TV set on a call with Falcon, watches all of this and goes, "Huh. So I guess the misfortune did catch up quicker than anticipated. Still, this is more successful than I possibly could have thought. This is definitely one. We're definitely doing this again. Well done." And Falcon's like, "Dude, my kids just died in my arms. Is that the best thing you can say?" All right, I see. I've been on the wrong side this whole time.
Straw, camel's back. Gotcha.
like between Delandau and burning everything on down, and now this, yeah.
I'm done. I am leaving. So yeah, this is Falcon's heel face turn.
Yeah, he defects.
Yep.
And they're like, so how can we? The Alliance Council's like, how can we trust you? Well, I didn't come empty-handed.
Yeah. I mean, it's implied and turns out we by this point we all know that Dornkirk is actually from the Mystic Moon. He's a human.
Well, he says that he is in the bit where when Hitomi, Vaughn, and Alan meet him, and he imprisons him. He gives his backstory. He was a scientist, and he was investigating all these sort of the way the world works and such. And he sort of got stuck in the concept of fate and such, and never was able to solve how fate worked before he was about to die of old age when he got transported to Gaia and rejuvenated somewhat. And he found Zybak, and in the state we were describing, where it's sort of being overrun by everybody, and people kept fighting through their territory. So he decided, okay, I'm going to make things better here.
I'm going to take over. I'm going to show you guys how this works.
Yeah,
through the power of science.
Yeah, he basically introduced science to the medieval land, and he pulled off a full straight on Evil Dead. He's like, behold the magic of my boomstick, kind of sort of shit. And then due to the sort of technology that they had, was able to fuse them and go beyond and build bigger and better. And Falcon was basically his number one student.
Yeah.
The sorcerers are the ones that learned the crafts of science, but Falcon had was more adept and picked it up a lot faster and started developing things of his own. Like, those invisibility cloaks that Gaimalef's had? Yeah, those are Falcon.
That was him.
And a whole host of other shit too. And he's like, I have gifts.
Look at all this technology that I have locked up inside my head. Is that not useful?
So
yeah, Falcon's completely turned. Van still doesn't trust him, and Falcon's just like, dude, I'm your brother. I've never raised a hand against you. Like, we were on opposite sides, but I've never raised a hand against you. Just please let me help you. I realize my mistakes now. By the way, an alliance has been formed at this point because Zybox kicked over one too many anthills.
Yeah.
Between the Dutchery Freed and the attack on the wedding, and everyone's basically teamed up against them now.
Oh well, plus the Falcons basically said, "Oh, by the way, here's his plans.
Yeah, here's
This
his
is
plans,
everything he's
here's
planning on
the
doing."
positions. Here's how you can. Here's all these other things. Hey,
All
look,
you
did you know
guys-
that you can have an alchemical reaction that causes a magical. Did you know that with the proper alchemical reagents, you can create a magical chain reaction that does this? You just give us nukes. I just gave you nukes.
Yeah, that doesn't go badly.
No.
So yeah, about this point, also, Alan actually confesses to Hitomi about the his illegitimate kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, and basically it's like, basically tells her like, okay, look, I have to go off to we've got a battle coming up. I got to go off and do this. But I legitimately love you. I want you to marry me if you're willing. But we'll come back to that after the battle because
Right. No point in making a widow should everything go entirely tits up. Good guy, Alan.
Yeah. Which leaves Hitomi feeling a little confused.
Yeah.
During the battle, she actually she has something of a sympathetic link to Vaughn still. And she starts sensing, Vaughn's sort of, single-minded desire, like he's doing all this to protect Hitomi at this point.
Yeah.
And he kind of starts going a little Blood Knight-y, shall we say?
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
And he starts really getting to it and gets kind of bloodlusty, and this is freaking Hitomi the fuck out.
Yeah,
So-
like I never asked for this. Like you calm down.
Like it's one thing for you to be fighting to protect people and such, and that's fine. It's another thing for you to be enjoying it like this. And basically, there's big confrontation or arguments like talk about what to do, and Hitomi's basically like, can we try to find some situation that doesn't involve murdering everybody? It looks like it's not going that way, and she basically is very emotional. It's like, I just wish none of this was happening. And poof, beam of light, she's back on Earth.
God damn it again.
And they're all, all of them are like, oh fuck.
Alan and Vaughn are going to be very upset.
I believe they're there.
Are they there?
I believe so.
I think you're right. I think they are. Yes. Yeah, because it's because Alan and Vaughn start arguing, and that's what part of what makes her freak out.
Yeah. Because they're getting heated to the point possibly of coming to blows. And it's just like, this is when she's had enough.
Yeah.
And this is where we get the bit where Gav's talking about where she basically runs into Amano again, but she's gone back in time when she first woke up from passing out on Earth before the whole time thing where she's going to run to try to beat her own time thing, and she's going, this all happened before.
Yeah, like she plays through like a few days before, basically plays back through the beginning of this the first episode.
Yep.
Which takes place over a couple of days.
Yep. Back on Gaia, Vaughn is sort of kind of mopey.
Yeah.
And Merle basically says, dude, get your head out of your ass. Go find her.
Like, you love her, right? I mean, obviously. I mean, I can tell. Pretty much everyone else can tell at this point, too. So just go get her. I mean, you've got that whole, link thing going on. Just use that.
And he's like, wait, I'm an idiot, aren't I?
This
Yes,
would be the
Vaughn.
second time Merle is at all useful in the entire series. And the last time.
See, I'm an idiot, aren't I? Yes, yes, Vaughn, you're an idiot. Simultaneously,
Hitomi's going through
there's the bit with Alan also.
Yeah. Where
he's in his family's graveyard, placing flowers on his parents' graves, when this young girl shows up, whom he immediately recognizes as the adult form, basically his sister having grown up.
Yeah.
And she looks kind of familiar to us. Except she looks a lot like Delandu, except female.
Yeah. Well, part
She's
of
got
it,
tits.
they pretty much telegraph it about it as far as they can. And
Oh,
then
God,
you
yes.
see like Delando's wrecked mech and his discarded uniform, and then the next scene is her walking up to Alan.
Yeah. But yeah, she looks a lot like Delando, except very obviously female.
Yeah.
As opposed to a very pretty guy.
Mm.
But she doesn't really remember anything. And then she sort of collapses screaming and turns into Delando in front of Alan.
In front of Alan and the
oldest princess, yeah.
Yeah. The oldest surviving princess,
Yeah.
shall we say.
And he sort of Delando's eventually his werewolf sidekick, the last remaining person that he has any link to in Zyback.
Yeah.
Any emotional link to. Comes and rescues him. It takes him away again because he basically.
Yeah.
There's a scene where basically we finally see him again and he decides to go off after Vaughn and bad shit happens and he this is what.
And he's got this new dog person underling and he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" I'm Chikuta.
Jijuka.
Jijuka. I've been assigned to you. I've been assigned to you. How so? However you want. Can you fight? If that's what you want. All right, let's go get Vaughn.
Well, we have a flashback and it just to explain it all, and it shows that the princess, what was the name again?
Alan's
sister.
Alan's sister.
Selena.
Yeah.
Basically, a young Selena when she was kidnapped, and Jijuka was essentially assigned to
take care of her.
To be like kind of like not a bodyguard as such, but just a
caretaker.
Yeah.
Caretaker, yeah.
And then she gets selected for fate alteration procedures.
Yes, and Jijuka is promptly fired.
Yeah,
is a nice way of putting it.
Well, it's almost like Jijuka objects strenuously.
Yeah,
because they're doing horrible experiments to like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, what the fuck, guys?
Well, I mean, we have a clip of Selena like just before all this, back in Zyback territory, while the scientists are talking about her, and she's like blind faced, blank emotion, nothing on her head, like trying to learn about everything around her by the look of it. And she picks up this leaf with a snail on it, and she's about to just eat the snail until Jijuka's like, "No, we don't do that."
Of course, we don't know it's Alan's sister at that point.
We got an idea if you
leave a looking woman in a nightie, a medical looking nightie, and who the fuck is this person? Why are you spending so much time with her? Who's the dog guy?
Mm-hmm.
And we find out, later.
Yeah.
Here. So yeah.
So literally, the alteration of fate that they performed on Celeste was, let's make her a dude and a psychopath.
Yeah.
Although how much the latter is because of the former is up to debate.
Bad shit was done to this poor kid. Let's
Bad
just be
shit
real.
was done to this poor kid. Yeah.
And it's very clear and Delandu, as Delandu, he immediately, works for me. One of my people, therefore important.
Yes.
And there's very clear. There's also, you can see that there's something about Jijuka that Delandu remembers but can't figure out what it is. Because it was as when he was, Selena, not. This was when he was Selena, not Delandu, that he knew Jijuka before. But immediate bond, because.
Yeah.
There's if there's one thing, literally one thing Delandu cares about. It's the people. It's his
subordinates.
It's his subordinates. Yeah. It's his one fucking redeeming feature.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's a garbage fire of a person.
A radioactive garbage fire of a person.
A very skilled warrior, but that's that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So things sort of start shifting into high gear around this point. So yeah, basically we go through Hitomi's whole sort of the few days leading up to the first time that she goes to Gaia, and her realization that, oh fuck, everything that my best friend has been saying to me about how I should confess my feelings to Amano because it's very clear I love him. It's because she loves him and can't admit it and knows I like him. And she knows that he likes me. But I don't care as much about Amano as, I like Amano. She loves him. Fuck.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, God. How could I have not
person.
seen this?
I'm a bad person. It's amazing what kind of perspective a few months on an alien planet can give you.
Yeah. She realized she doesn't have as much of an emotional attachment to him as she thought she did.
Right. Because she
likes Amano. Yeah, she has a crush on him, but not more than that.
Not to the degree that her bestie does.
Right. But she goes through the whole day and does all the same actions because it leads up to Vaughn showing up again. The way it's implied she knows that it's possible that it could happen.
Yeah.
And it does happen. Vaughn shows up on Escaflowne.
It's like, there you are. Come on, let's go. We got shit to take care of. Gotcha. Let's go. And Amano's like, Told me where you did you want your pendant? Have fun with your pendant. Bye. What the fuck just happened?
The fuck. And we rapidly shift into the end game. Basically, Dornkirk is getting to the point where he's going to be able to pull off his thing. Falcon basically is like planning to go back and confront him to stop all of this while everyone else is sort of holding the lines. Hitomi basically sees the future where he does this and gets killed, and she's like,
I gotta stop that.
Dude, don't do that. It's gonna be bad.
It's gonna get you dead. It's not gonna work the way you think it will. The big Alliance army starts moving on Zybok. The Zybok's army is like, okay, we can do this if we just get some orders. Could we move into position? Dornkirk?
Emperor?
Vulcan? Where'd Dornkirk? Where'd Vulcan go? Where's Dornkirk? Where are all the sorcerers? Why is our command structure set up like this? Because basically everyone above the generals of individual armies that has the bigger picture of what's going on has either defected or is working on the Fate engine.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, is this part of the plan? Are we supposed to sit here? What's the cunning plan here, guys?
We have 40,000 Gymelfs and troops. We can crush them. Why are we not attacking? There is fighting going on.
Yeah, because they will react when attacked, but they're assuming there's a bigger picture going on and therefore not taking action.
Yeah.
So the fighting is going on. It's going okay for the Alliance, but not great.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of Zybok reserves.
A lot of them.
Well, it was going pretty bad, really, until Van showed up with Escaflowne and then managed to get word out. This flank needs help.
Right.
And he starts basically, raffle stomping everybody in front of him, but he's not taking as much gleeful pleasure in it this time.
Yeah, he's not having quite as much fun. I mean, honestly, I don't see any problem with having fun with it. I mean, nothing wrong with enjoying your work.
There are levels you don't want to go to, Eric. At any rate, Hitomi basically goes to talk to Falcon, and basically she's like, "Okay, I need to go to the fighting thing is not gonna work. I need to go to the Zybok, talk to Dornkirk, and try to convince him to stop this bullshit." It's like
Falcon's like, I also need to talk to Dornkirk for reasons. You want to jump on my flying guy elephant head over there? This is going to go poorly, but sure.
well, they don't fly over there; they get teleported over there.
Do they get teleported?
They
I thought he jumped in. Oh, he defected with the mech. That's right.
Yep. No, they teleport. The pillar of
Yeah,
light
because
thing
Hitomi-
show up in front of Dornkirk. Dornkirk's like, "Ah, you're here, just as I expected." And Falcon's like, "Wait, what?"
And that's the last piece. Slide that in there. Thank you, Hitomi. And boom.
That doesn't happen. Yeah, basically everything starts going. He starts saying, "And now my whole fate of absolute, my zone of absolute fate goes off, and thinks I'm going to win." And Falcon's like, "Yeah, no, fuck you."
Like, I will stop you. And he draws his sword, and Dornkirk's like, gets out of his big, giant, life-sustaining throne, and is like, Can you stop me?
Oh, before we forget, one little bit, which is important. Hitomi tells Falcon that he's going to die if he does this, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm dying anyways."
Yeah, my cat friends and Delando were not the only people Zybok experimented on.
Yeah, I'm dying. My wings are turned black. I'm fucked.
This kick-ass cyber armor I've got, that's not healthy.
Yeah. So, my time is short anyways, so it's okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no sweat. So, can you stop me, Falcon? Can you strike me down? I've got wings. Of course I can strike you down. So he goes and strikes down Dornkirk and breaks his sword on the throne, which jams the shattered point into his heart.
Remember that whole fate manipulation thing?
Yeah.
You should have been paying
Equal and
attention,
opposite
Falcon.
reactions.
And so Dornkirk's like, "Haha, my plan is Hitomi basically like, "Dude, this is not going to work the way you think it is. You gotta
It is
stop
working
it
the
now."
way I think it is. I die, my soul powers the machine, everyone gets exactly what they want, including me. Why did someone just set off a nuke in my backyard?
Stop the machine, Dornkirk. It can't. Once it started, it can't be stopped.
Literally, someone sets off a nuke in Dornkirk's backyard
Yeah.
and takes out most of the Zybok reserves. And a good chunk of the Alliance
Yeah,
army.
the Alliance basically turns on itself because, Zybok has been
We're on the precipice of defeating Zybok. The one who... so we can defeat our rivals now and lay claim to the entirety of Gaia. It's like they're Skaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the second, not even like, we're not even celebrating the end of the war. It's like, it's like watching somebody play a fucking real-time strategy game. It's like, well, that army's finished. Time to turn on this guy.
Yep.
Before he can turn on me.
Yeah. So everything is going to pot here, and it's like
Everyone starts. The various disparate parts of the Alliance start turning on each other. Van and Alan come up with some reason to start fighting each other, and it's a pretty kick-ass duel, not gonna lie.
Well, it's because Van Delandau's shown back up, and Van's been dealing with Delandau.
Right.
And Alan knows the truth about Delandau.
Alan doesn't get involved until it's very clear Delandau is lost, and Van's about to kill Delandau.
Yes.
And he basically stops him, and First,
Tachuka
shows up and intervenes, and Alan drives Alan drives up Tachuka, so and Vaughn and Delandau get back to fighting.
Yep.
There is a great bit though when Alan finally steps in, he's like, Van's like, "Get out of my way, Alan!" He's like, "I can't. Delandau's my sister." And
what?
Van's just got a moment.
Sense.
He's got a moment. You're like, "Wait, what?"
And he actually literally says, "That makes no goddamn sense. What the fuck are you talking about?"
Unlike all, good anime
But I will say,
Bullshit.
this is at the point where Alan has beaten Jujuka, and Jujuka basically gives dying words, tells Delano to, it's okay to revert back to Selena. You can be Selena. You don't have to be Delano anymore. It's fine. And he transforms back. Vaughn is not stopping, and this is when Alan intervenes.
Right. To be fair, every time he's let Delando get away, it's bitten him in the ass.
Right. Oh, no, it makes sense. No, the logic is sound. Again, because the fuck do you mean it's your sister? It's Delando. He's got to die. Do you know
every
what
time we've let him go, someone we've cared about has died as a result. He dies now.
So they're starting to fight, and Hitomi again, linked with Vaughn, is like, and to a lesser degree, Alan's like, guys, stop fighting each other. Stop fighting.
And she's got Dornkirk's ghost for all intents and purposes there.
Yep.
Watching with her. So like, she turns to him, why aren't they stopping? Why is everyone fighting? It's over. It's giving everyone what they want. This is what they want.
Hitomi's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
They're all soldiers. They want to fight. That's what they want, apparently.
Well, again, it ties back into the whole thing about the whole, if you start using the power to manifest your thoughts and give everyone what they want, when they aren't clear on what they actually want, their negative emotions are going to fuel the thing and make things go bad. It comes
back to the whole theme of this show is humans are too stupid to know what they want.
Yeah, largely. I mean, yeah.
There's a lot of be careful what you wish for, and what you want is not what you need.
It might even be what you actually want.
Yeah.
And
to be fair, it's been pretty clear Vaughn and Alan have really wanted to finish that duel again.
Oh yeah,
have a rematch.
Oh yeah, totally. They do
like
want.
They're like, there has not been a moment where the two of them are on screen. They have not been sizing each other up.
Right. Like
through the entire series.
And again, like in normal situations, without the whole zone of absolute fortune going on, it would be a desire to have a duel to see who's better, and it would not be to the death or anything like that, just to see who's better.
Right.
But again, because it's being driven by the negative emotions people are having because of the issues with trying to monkey with fate, it's escalated beyond that, and it's being driven to a bad place.
Yep.
But Hitomi is actually able to get through to Vaughn, finally. And basically, she, managed to stop the battle between the two of them. And basically, convince them.
Yeah.
And as they pause is when Selena gets out of the robot, and Vaughn's like, the fuck?
Why is that dude a girl now?
Fucking Zyback.
This is why I'm making alchemy illegal in Finalia. Because of shit like this.
Yeah. So, Alan goes off to take care of his sister. He gets out his mech to take care of his sister. Vaughn basically is like, okay, how the fuck am I going to get to Hitomi? Wait, I can fly there with my own wings because,
Right.
If I use Escaflowne, things might not go. I forget why he abandons Escaflowne. There's actually.
I think he abandons Escaflowne because it's a big fucking target and everyone's shooting at everything.
That's it. Yes. And so he goes off, and his feathers fall down and sort of start sort of causing people to sort of regain their composure, ending the war.
Right. Partially because, well, he's a Draconian, and Draconians are inextricably linked to the power of Atlantis, which is what the Fate Engine is using.
Yep. And and he is currently going there driven by his love for Hitomi.
Yes.
Something genuine, true and positive.
Yes.
And it is truly what he wants.
Yeah, something benign.
Yeah.
Not malicious.
And, the power of their love basically completely blows up the machine.
Except it makes sense. It doesn't sound nearly as lame as
oh, no. It actually works in context. It's just,
yes.
When simplifying it, it sounds really fucking dumb. And again, it's pointing out to Dorn, yeah, fate can be. Hitomi has a great line where she says, I don't believe fate is, can't be changed. Actually phrase it. I don't believe fate is immutable. Basically,
Yeah.
you can change fate. You can go against fate. Fate is not absolute. And Dorn's like, but fate is absolute. Okay, the power of love just blew up my machine, which shouldn't be like the machine can't be stopped. It was stopped. Okay, apparently fate can be changed. Well, fuck.
At this point, I'm like, yep, Isaac Newton. This makes perfect sense for Isaac Newton.
Yeah, by the way, it's really clear from the show. It's Isaac Newton.
They never come out and say it, but yeah, he's Isaac Newton. I mean, they give you all the clues.
Without
many clues.
Like, literally, the only thing they don't say is his last name. Literally the only thing. And so that basically, Finalia starts being rebuilt. The world starts being rebuilt.
Yep.
Hitomi and Vaughn are in love, but they can't be together because this was
90s anime.
Because 90s anime, they're from different worlds. Hitomi goes back to Earth, but they will always be able to see each other and be in contact with each other through their link. The end.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little coda on Earth where, some of her friends, basically, Hitomi's friends, ask her to read their fortune for her to figure out if the guy they like is actually someone they should be in for. And she's like, yeah, I stopped doing fortune telling.
Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore.
Nope.
Thanks, though.
Sorry, guys. And that's basically that's the show. Yeah, I mean, it's Escaflowne.
Yeah. That's Escaflowne.
So what did we think? Is sort of the long and short of it,
Okay. So yeah, generally I'm the last guy because it's my.
Yep. So Gav, you could start it off. I mean.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think for me there was a little bit too much fantasy in my mecha.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird one for me to think, because I mean, I know you two are fairly positive on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I think this is one of those where we're going to disagree. I mean, it's enjoyable and it's a good enough show, but for me, it's not one that I was incredibly engrossed in.
I could tell.
I mean, it had trouble holding me. Mostly, I mean, maybe just because I didn't get a lot of the nuances that were going around. I mean, I got the big broad strokes, but a few of the actions of the characters frustrated me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of plot convenience for me, at least. Like the whole thing with Alan at the end, where all of a sudden he becomes a controlling asshole. And we discussed this, after when we finished watching the show. It was like, yeah, he had a darker side to him and all the rest of it, but all of a sudden, when we need to push Hitomi towards Van, Alan starts talking about locking her up in a birdcage. He's never used that kind of language before, in reference to anyone. It's a good show. It's visually very impressive, especially for its time. I don't know. It just didn't click with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's one of those situations. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not for me.
That's fair.
That's an entirely legitimate thing, and now we can't be friends. No, I totally like you're. I understand.
Yeah, I will say I will say the whole thing with Alan is it's not so much that he got possessive and such. It's how rapidly it was more a case of going from 0 to 100 so suddenly that catches you off guard. It could have used some more hints building up to it before then, but as I said, they explain why he's that way.
Yeah. They explain why he's that way. That always been an undercurrent that I at least picked up on Alan. But maybe that's just because I don't trust pretty rich boys.
it just felt like a line that should have come out from somebody like Dryden.
Yeah, except that's not the way Dryden is at all.
Yeah.
No, but at least we've had evidence that he plays the part sometimes.
Yeah, but again, like that's sort of the big difference between why they're sort of foils for one another is,
Yeah.
Dryden is, they're both sort of, they both have sort of that playboy, serial monogamous, what have you, love the ladies vibe. Dryden is very clearly is not possessive the way Alan is.
Hmm.
And largely in no small part due to the fact that Alan has, as I said, has abandonment issues. They show it on screen, but again, as I said, it's the speed with which Alan makes that declaration
Yeah.
that caught me off guard. Also, especially the first time I watched it, it felt more. It didn't feel as shocking this time when I watched it because this is the second time I've watched the show.
Yeah. I'll say, like, given everything that's going on, it didn't bother me nearly as much as you two, because I don't trust pretty rich boys.
Fair.
And two, like that undercurrent had always been there. And three, yeah, it's a plot contrivance, but there's literal manipulation of fate happening.
That too. Yeah, this was after they basically had the magical whammy put on them.
Yeah.
I like the show a lot. It is not without its flaws, and it is very much part and parcel with the early '90s style of anime. Honestly,
Yeah.
and we were talking about this after the show. There's sort of right about this time, during this era, there is a sort of a shift in a lot of tone and way anime was written. And there were several big game changers that came out over starting from '96 and going forward. Vision of not Vision
Evangelion.
Neon Genesis Evangelion, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun.
Outlaw
There's
Star,
a lot.
Trigun.
Outlaws are less so in terms of the writing. There's a lot more sort of looking at what sort of the nuts and bolts of storytelling are, and looking at characters in different ways. That was started to happen after Escaflowne. Escaflowne hadn't gotten there yet.
I think that's my issue with this. I mean, not to say it's like you compare this to a story like what would I say? Something like Slayers. The characters in Slayers stand out. They're much more defined for me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these characters are just not as memorable.
I would say that I would agree with you with a couple of exceptions. I will agree with you. The cast is not as strong as the cast in Slayers.
The Landau stands out because of how strong his personality is.
Yeah, the Landau stands out. Hitomi stands out. She's one of the best female protagonists I've seen in some time, honestly. Vaughn and Alan are kind of meh.
The stereotypes.
Yeah, they fall into the archetype their respective archetypes very comfortably.
Yeah. Falcon is I would say the three standout characters are honestly Hitomi, Delando, and Dryden. Honestly.
Yeah.
And only one of those is an actual main character.
Yeah. I think that's my issue. Is a lot of it is forgettable.
It's I said it's sort of part and parcel with his time, and there's a lot of it. This is a criticism you could levy at a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And a lot of shows that don't have it's generally stunning visuals, spectacular musical score.
Yes, we haven't talked about the music at all because it's Yoko Kanno, and we don't have to.
It's Yoko fucking Kanno. She is amazing. This is not her best work. That's still Bebop, but
yeah,
Yoko Kanno's not best work is still better than most people who do the scores for shows. Of any sort. She's amazing. But like the animation is, I think Eric will get into a bit more. They go off model every now and then. It's definitely dated, but ignoring the animation, the actual raw visuals of the show are generally just breathtaking.
Well, I mean, I'll give it that credit. I mean, as we were watching, we hit pause at one point, and the visual that was on screen at the time was absolutely fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Just and it just lined it up perfectly. It's like, oh my god, that looks absolutely brilliant. I might steal that as a wallpaper, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the actual artwork in the show is amazing. It's just that, like I said,
it didn't stand out for you. That's fine.
This is one of those that's not gonna be with me 6 months down the line.
And that's fair.
That's fine.
It's, as I said, I'm very fond of this show, but it is definitely is not aged as well as some stuff from that era. I will definitely agree with that. But it is still I still there's a lot about the show I really like. I had a lot of fun rewatching it, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Just for the visuals and the music, man. And again, Hitomi is a great character. I really like Hitomi.
Hitomi's great. Hitomi's pretty awesome. Remarkably nuanced character there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rather like the show. It's definitely a product of its time.
Yep.
And yeah, a lot of the characters fit very comfortably into their archetypes. I wouldn't go far as to say they're stereotypes, but they definitely fit comfortably into their archetypes. They don't stretch any boundaries there. With the exceptions that Peter mentioned, Delando, Hitomi, and Dryden. But like, yeah, the show is gorgeous. Like, this is Sunrise throwing Gundam level money at a show.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's really well animated. While people go off model sometimes, it's part and parcel for actually hand animating a show. Like, this was drawn on paper.
This
as they all were at the time.
Yep. No computer assist whatsoever on this one, as far as I can tell.
It's and it's gorgeous. I wouldn't say it stands up, like it's not. You can see its age, and it's part of its appeal visually. And yeah, the design work on a lot, like, yeah, I was saying Alan's mech it's okay. It's okay in comparison to all the other mechs in the show.
Yep.
Compared to, say, anything from another mech, it's pretty standout and awesome.
And the landscaping is gorgeous too.
The landscaping is gorgeous. The sound work in general is amazing. Like the mechs, you feel the weight of the Gymelus as they move around, not just because of the way they're drawn, but also just like the sound work of them moving, and the venting of steam and the stomping of their feet, and the clashing of their weapons and armor.
Yep.
It is a feast for the senses. And yeah, it has some plotting elements that come from, like, it has some convenience problems for the plotting that I'm perfectly willing to hand wave away, because there is literal fate manipulation going on. There is a destiny engine. I totally understand why that would rub people the wrong way, but and it would normally me if there wasn't that nice handy get out of jail free card. But yeah, it's not the most well-aged ones, largely because it's sitting just on the wrong side of the divide for modern anime. But at the same time, it's classic in all the best ways, for me at least. And yeah, it's gorgeous. It shows what could be done on a television budget for actual hand-drawn cell animation.
Yep.
With zero computer assist, because they didn't have it.
Yeah. So I guess it sounds like sort of 2.5 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, go watch it just because it's so
just watch it because it's not a Gav show.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed it. So I don't know when we'll be getting through the next show. I'm in the process of moving, so that's going to chew up a little bit.
Peter's moving, and then Christmas! Just to date this episode, we're getting close to the old 25th.
Christmas.
December. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Gav has the next choice. What are we doing next, Gav?
Well, I was originally going to suggest more giant robots, but not to name any of it just yet, because that would spoil things. I realised that since Peter did a sequel last time, and another show that we've just covered has relatively recently finished its second run, Blood Blockade, Battlefront, and Beyond is what I choose. Keke Sensen, season 2.
Yeah,
I totally did not watch this as it was airing, and I'm not at all excited to see it again.
I watched a few episodes of it and then got distracted by something shiny, so I'm very happy to go back and watch the rest of it.
And I haven't watched it at all other than the occasional clip I saw on Twitter.
So we'll be doing Bloodblade Battlefront, a.k.a. Kekai Sensen, Season 2 next time. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. We have a Twitter for the show.
We have.
What is it, Gav? You're the one who put it together.
Hang on, I don't have Twitter open because I try not to distract myself while we're doing this because I'm easily distracted by shiny things. Give me a second. I can't wait because I had when I built it, I had trouble getting a name that would work.
Right.
Because apparently there's plenty of 3MAs out there, but none of them have at 3MA podcast.
At
the number MA podcast.
All right. So if you want to get in contact with us, check that Twitter handle out. Throw it a follow. If you want to, if you want to send suggestions for shows we might want to consider watching, we might. I know Gav has more than once taken viewer suggestions because
yes. Typically, we put it on. I'd say during the show, leave a comment in the YouTube channel, but that involves reading YouTube comments. So if you want to suggest something, put something out there. 3MA podcast, give us a shout. Typically, I'm the one running the Twitter, so I'll see that and put it in my list. The other guys obviously will have access. Blah blah blah. And I will be
Twitter.
Okay, Peter's got access. And then what I'll do is I'll be throwing this episode up there when Peter gets up on YouTube. And then we'll go from there. So yeah, any suggestions, recommendations, feedback, and follows, just find us on there and see where we go.
Yep. And if you want to leave comments and suggestions in the YouTube comments, that's fine. We will look there too.
We do look there, or at least I do.
Give us attention. We like it.
Validate us in some way, shape, or form, please.
Yes.
That's going to do it for this episode, as I said, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This will be going up on YouTube soon. But that's going to do it for now, everybody. Take care, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.